Hi. Hello everyone, I'm back inside the bus. We're going to next major project on the bus, and this will be the racks for the solar system. And since I'm doing residential panels, I need to make a pretty hefty racking system. And there's a couple of things I need to make sure I do is it has to be mounted onto the ribs here. So you can see that on the ribs, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use these holes here as a guide, since all the ribs are the same. So I'm just going to use these holes and bolt them through these. But I need to make these holes a little bit bigger for 1/4-inch bolts. And the rack's going to be kind of high because I need to be able to clear the fan. The panel's going to go above that. So I'll get started and show you how I'm going to get this done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rivets here as kind of a guide to make sure I'm straight. And from there, from that seam here to this seam is 26.5 inches. So I'll make it, the middle should be 13 and what's it, and a quarter? Yeah, 13 and a quarter. All right, so what I'm gonna use is a 1.5 inch board stud. It will be the same, it's the same, basically the same as this. And it'll kind of give me the guide to where I need to put this. So there's a mounted. So I want this to be perpendicular. And to do that, I'm just going to use a little square. So once that's level, I can put that in place and kind of get a measurement. All right. So what they're gonna need to cut about a little bit. Yeah, I want to do that just because it's easier for me to do the wood than do metal. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off real quick, and then we can see if it all fits. All right, so I have my jig set up here with all the different pieces I need to make these vertical supports. You can see I have it set up for left side and right side, and I'm putting arrows on each piece to show which direction they point, so I know which how to put them up correctly. All right, so I'm gonna start the first weld. The one thing I need to be careful about is the space between the bolt head and the vertical support. If I have them too close, I won't be able to turn that bolt. So I'll make sure everything's lined up and like that's far enough. And I'll go ahead and start. I'll tack these in place first, and then I'll go back later and just, you know, do a really good weld on it. First one's done, nice and strong. You can see that. And once I get all these done, I will go and put them Yeah, I'll go ahead and just put them down and finish all the welds. All right, so these are all the pieces for the vertical supports. Everything's tack welded into place right now. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and finish off the welds and do that off camera. You don't want to see me do all that. But yeah, once I get that done, we can go ahead and get these mounted, at least for the first one, and then get the horizontal piece put on. And once that's in, I can go ahead and make a jig for that also, because I need to make at least 9 of them. All right. All right. So I have both vertical supports up. Now I got the horizontal piece in place. Go ahead and mark the bottoms of them, kind of where it's going to meet up. So I'm going to take this down, take all this apart, grind it down really good, go ahead and weld it, and then bring it back up here and stick it back in place. Yeah, if this all fits right, I'll go ahead and use this one to make a jig so I can do the rest of them. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take this down and then finish all the welding and make a jig for this so I can do the other 8 that I need right now. All right, so I have these tabs here in place, and these are going to be what the Unistrut bolts onto. I'll have 3 of them down line, and the spacing I have between this one and the center one, you can see the center one over there, that's going to be wide enough to hold my 100-watt panels right now. But once I get the bigger residential panels, it'll have all 3 supporting the residential panels. I'm going to go ahead and tack these in place and then go ahead and do a final weld on them. Let me start with this one first. All right, so you can see I have the solar racks put in place. I just need to go back inside and put the nuts on the bottom and weld those in, tack those in place so they don't move. But if you can see, this front one is actually a little bit taller. If I can get an angle shot. So this one here is actually taller than these, but that doesn't change the fact that where the holes are going to be the exact same place. So get these, once I get this all secured, I can actually finally get the correct measurements and chop this down and then weld these together, and then they'll be all in a single plane. And then after, I can put the Unistrut on from the front to back and start putting the panels on top. So let me get inside and put the nuts on and go from there. All right, so I have all the nuts welded on. So next time I need to pull these the racks off, it'll be much easier and just do it from the top. Just a quick look. A quick look at all these, you know. There's a good weld on each of the nuts, and that part of this project is done. So next thing is to chop the front rack lower so it'll be in line with the other ones, and then start looking at doing the rest of the roof, like doing the fan and getting everything, you know, painted. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video here. I think that's as much as I can do with the current weather and temperature. If the weather gets warmer, where I can put the roofing epoxy on, and I'll go ahead and do that. But until then, next time.